Had to get a new seat for this bike. It was like the first thing I did. One of these Swin seats. Pretty comfy. Today is the first day we are trying 40 to 1. 91 octane, non-ethanol, 40 to 1, semi-synthetic. What you whining for? You know we're fixing to go for a ride. Some chain lube. Wait. Hello? Alright, so while we're here trying to get some distance between the houses and the stray dogs, before I let Henry off the collar and start up the motor, I might as well give you guys a little tip. If you want to record your bike rides and you only have one camera, try and mount it to your chest. Try and use a chest rig. A couple of reasons for this we'll get into in a moment. Second, for that camera, try and make sure that the angle is just slightly down. Now, you don't want to just see nothing but handlebars and kneecaps, but you want the angle to be just slightly down while you're sitting on the bike with both hands on the bars. There's a couple of reasons for this too. All right, first off, let's go back to the chest rig. The reason you want to use a chest rig and not a helmet cam, getting the camera lower gives you a view of the bike, which is much more interesting to the viewers. When you have a helmet cam, really you can't see anything. You can't see the bike. You can't usually even see the helmet. Second, when you have it on the chest and not the helmet, lower to the ground gives you a faster, I always say, perception. The lower you get the camera to the ground, the faster it's going to look like you're going. Camera's up high, make it look like you're going slow. Camera down low makes it look like you're going faster. Even if you're not trying to make it look like you're a speed demon, it's just a lot more interesting to watch a camera with a lower level. Another reason why I like to keep the camera angle tilted slightly down is to help keep the bright sky and sun from blowing out the exposure. If your camera gets too much of a view of the sky, the exposure is going to want to darken it, so you won't see what's in the trail, the shadows, the trees, all the interesting stuff. But when you have a lower camera angle with maybe just a little bit of sky, the camera is going to see that it's a darker scene and it's going to raise the exposure, so you'll be able to see more detail in the shadows. So there you go, guys, 2 little tips for the video. At least I can say I did something for you. All right, buddy, you're a free pup. I also recommend keeping image stabilization turned on. Image stabilization on a helmet and a chest camera is very important. Start this little sucker. Good boy. You got some hops there, buddy. Speak louder. Good. This ain't for you. I get comments asking why I don't use a spring tensioner. And I also get comments saying I have too much slap. Some of them are combined. First, you probably caught in my build video and several videos afterwards why I have to use a stock pulley. But in case you missed it, here's it in a nutshell. I'm using a 56-2 sprocket on a small 26-inch frame. That means there's issues with chain clearance. This bottom bar goes in as it gets closer to the crank. If I use the spring pulley, which mounts to the clutch assembly, it would pull on the chain right about here and the line would come down right about here. By getting the pulley as close to the sprocket as possible, I'm able to get the chain to clear the frame by about a millimeter. Literally. But it's just enough. That's why I have to use the stock pulley. Second, do I have too much slap in my chain? No. Here's why. The only portion that really matters is right here. Obviously, there's its limits, okay? If you have a crazy amount of slap, then you're going to have problems everywhere. But here's why this is the most important part between the pulley and the sprocket. When the motor's pulling, this gets tensioned out. This can slap around quite a bit because the pulley also acts as a guide, has these large lips which cradle the chain and keep it from moving side to side. This section here is so short that there's very little slap, so there's not an issue with it popping off the sprocket. This chain has never come off. So far, we're working pretty good. So we can have slap here between the motor and the pulley, and here. Obviously, not severe, but some is acceptable. Now, unless you got that rear sprocket perfectly centered on the hub, you're always going to have a little bit of slack. Because as the sprocket moves imperfect, the chain's going to tighten and loosen. It's unavoidable. You ready? He even catches the bad throw. Now that is one soggy doggy. You ready to go home and get a bed? Yeah. I know, buddy. You see the dogs and you want to play. Oh, Henry. Oh, you little bastard.